have been research on many different areas.
Mhm.
Some of them tangentially related to intelligence,
Okay.
but the core always was to understand what intelligence is and how it can be assessed.
Mhm. Mhm.
So let me tell you what fascinated me.
Okay.
One is mental retardation and the other is learning disability.
Okay.
How to understand the two?
Mhm.
When I started to investigate the effects of poverty and malnutrition on
Mhm.
intellectual function, when I attempted to understand the difference among the children with mental retardation,
Mhm.
neuropsychology and cognitive psychology
Mhm.
influenced my research.
Right.
The so-called learning disabled children were thought to be poor in IQ, which
Mm.
is true,
Right.
because reading disability is found at several levels of intelligence.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
There are gifted learning disabled
Mhm. Mhm.
who score very high on WISC.
Mhm.
There are also borderline intelligence people, people with, I would say, borderline intelligence,
Mhm.
who have different abilities. Like, for example, Down syndrome children.
Mhm. Mhm.
They have a typical difficulty in verbal ability,
Okay.
but may not be so in non-verbal performance type intelligence.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, what is the alternative model of intelligence to understand these difficulties?
Mhm.
That from gifted to the learning disabled to the mentally retarded,
Mhm.
what binds together? So, came to the conclusion, obviously,
Okay.
as you know, that intelligence is not one thing,
Okay.
that you cannot measure people's intelligence in one scale of merit
Okay.
as high, middle, and low. I often ask
Mhm.
questions
Mhm.
to my students: who was more intelligent, Mahatma Gandhi or Einstein?
Okay.
So,
Great.
when Mahatma Gandhi died, you
Mhm.
should know what Einstein wrote. It was
Mhm. Mhm.
in the Times, London
Mhm.
Times,
Mhm.
that future generations will scarcely believe that such a man walked on the earth.
Mhm.
You see, if you
Mhm.
don't have
Yes.
tears in your eyes, then we
Mhm.
should think
Right.
again about what intelligence is.
Mhm.
So that's how my thinking has evolved
Okay.
about intelligence. The vast majority of people in many communities
Mhm.
are illiterate.
Mhm.
They're quite intelligent.
Mhm.
And among the so-called people with low intelligence, we
Mhm.
find a variety of skills and abilities.
Mhm.
It's not one thing.
Mhm.
And take the case of reading disability.
Mhm.
Highly intelligent physicists were reading disabled.
Could be. Yes.
Recently, a Nobel laureate in chemistry
Mhm.
said that he was declared as learning disabled in school.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, what did these people, so called learning disabled children, do. They were not diagnosed properly in those
Mhm.
days. They compensated somehow, and they went to study topics that did
Mhm.
not require too much verbal reading, like
Mhm.
sociology.
Mhm. Mhm.
Never read sociology.
Right.
Or they really did not enjoy a 500-page novel.
Right. Right.
But they're very intelligent because they used a different kind of symbolic system,
Hmm.
a different language.
Mhm. Mhm.
Einstein's famous equation
Right.
was just one third of a line.
Mhm. 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 And as Gandhi is intelligence, we can say, he was, intrapersonal intelligence. They have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gandhi himself thought that he was not very clever.
Okay.
You know that.
Yes. Yes.
And but well, rarely, as Einstein say, there has been a person like Gandhi.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what happens in schools is that we appreciate academic intelligence, reading, writing, and math.
Mhm.
But intelligence is much broader. These were all based, to start with, on two different strands of discipline. One is neurology, the other is psychology.
Okay.
From the beginning, we knew through clinical work of many people, including Luria, that there are different broad organizations of cognitive processes in the regions of the brain.
Mhm. Mhm.
The brain doesn't work as a whole. It
Okay.
can be partitioned. As we know in stroke, for example, or in beginning dementia,
Mhm.
or even in ordinary life,
Mhm.
some people are very good in planning.
Yeah.
Some people have attentional difficulties.
Mhm.
Some people can't think of things together in a gestalt form.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
some people are very poor in sequencing,
Yes.
to remember a list of unrelated words.
Mhm.
So that's the beginning of the past theory.
Mhm.
And I thought that we can operationalize how the brain works
Mhm.
through some limited number of tests.
Mhm.
So the major functions of the brain were the four different abilities that I just mentioned:
Mhm.
to plan and make decisions,
Mhm.
to attend, which means we discriminate between what's relevant, what's irrelevant,
Mhm.
and we try to resist distraction while thinking or while attending. So inhibition is a big part in attention. What not to attend to is very important as what we have to attend to.
Right.
And then the two ways in which we gather information.
Mm-hmm.
We see patterns, we see the whole, rather than the trees in the forest, we see the forest.
Yes. Yes.
And the other is sequencing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, no academic learning can proceed without sequencing. For example, in mathematics, you have to know the sequence of numbers. In reading poetry, you have to understand the syntax as well as semantic. So, given a sentence, you have to understand the way the words are positioned in the sentence as well as its meaning. People often ask, how do you define then this simultaneous type of processing? Is it all non-verbal or visual spatial, whereas successive is all verbal and sequential? I said, okay, let's give an example.
Okay.
I quote Albert Schweitzer.
Okay.
He worked in a colony of lepers in Africa.
Okay.
And he said something that really crystallizes his experience. He said that we die is not a tragedy. But what dies in men when they're alive?
Okay. Yeah.
That we die is not a tragedy. But what dies in men when they're alive?
Right.
So you have to understand the sentence. If you know English very well, cannot understand the sentence at all, but it is so simple. It doesn't require too much grammar. So what does it require? The words themselves have certain meaning, but the words are used to reflect thought.
Yeah.
We often in schools do not emphasize this. There are many ways in which you can interpret a sentence. We have a lot of latitude, and it depends on how you interpret it because of your reflection, of your thinking. You know, in Indian system of philosophy, we have Sravana, meaning listening, because in this stage there may not be written things. So Sravana, Manana, reflection, and Nididhyasana, to sit on it and get the essence. So these are the traditional things in Indian philosophy.
Yes.
And psychology. Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana.
Yes.
And that summarizes thinking. How we get knowledge? We get our knowledge through listening to others, through reading books, through experience. So these are formal and informal knowledge. Then we reflect on it. There are some things which are apparent, but it has a very different meaning. Vygotsky said something about meaning and sense. The words may have meaning, but in what is the sense that they convey is more important. And the sense comes from the culture and the tradition in which you have grown up.
Okay.
That's the Vygotsky's idea of language. Language is firmly rooted in the culture.
You told in that particular lecture that if you want to develop a concept in the child, you need to send them, for their, mother tongue school.
Yeah. Well, but you have to be realistic and practical as well. But how language develops, our teachers don't know. And many of the psychologists who are concerned with education do not know it as well. For example, recent research about 10 years ago showed that a pre-lingual child at the very beginning can discriminate all these phonemes in any language.
Oh.
Gradually, the discrimination is destroyed and concentrated on the language in which he grows up. So by age 8 months, the unilingual baby has lost the discrimination of certain phonemes which are not present in the language. At age 8 months.
Right.
For example, in Odia, don't make a distinction between Z and S. So, we say Jew. Rather than
yes.
Because we do not have the sound in Odia. TSU. Zoo. We have lost it.
Yes.
In Bengali, they cannot say pani. Pani. But Odias and Marathis can say pani. No problem. Because we have lost the perception of the difference between no and no.
No, yeah.
Now, if you don't grow up in a unilingual environment, you don't have a grasp of the language. And that is the beginning of our inability to master one language, any language. So all of you are very aware of what it is doing to the present generation of kids. Without understanding their language, which is the root to their culture.
Yes.
They are unfortunate because they cannot take advantage of the cultural resources that we have in our language.
Yes.
You see? So,
yes.
Language is not merely vocabulary. It's a lot of it is thinking. I often say this when I teach reading comprehension. Comprehension is not all a matter of learning what the word means. Take a simple sentence, like the German philosopher Goethe said, Goethe. He said that everything has been thought of before. The difficulty is to think of it again. Think that thought of before. The difficulty is to think of it again.
Right.
You give this to a 7-year-old who knows English, he of course doesn't understand what it's meaning.
Exactly. Right.
Give it to a 7-year-old English-speaking boy, he cannot understand what it means because the words are so simple. Everything has been thought of before. The difficulty is to think of it again. You see?
Yes.
So, unless you are extremely familiar with the language and the culture, you cannot go beyond the simple meaning of words. So you can't have very much of original thinking. As you know, the biggest advantage of human beings is language. Vygotsky called it as a cultural tool, like hands and feet and legs. Human beings have a unique tool, which is language. So, that is something that has great practical importance. What to teach the child. Up to age 7, most countries, they teach their mother tongue.
Yeah.
In New York, for example, there are children from Hispanic communities.
Okay.
Spanish. When they go to New York schools, they are taught English from the beginning. Now, since 15 to 20 years, the English schools are teaching Spanish to Spanish children.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
Why do they do it? Because when you are rooted in your own language, you hear it in your house, in your family, in your community where you live. You are cut off from them. Because you go to an English medium school. So they find that great improvement in language and achievement in general in school in the Hispanic children is noticed when you give them a grounding in their own language for the first 3 years in school.
Okay.
And what we do in Odisha, I think maybe rest of India, we don't give them a grounding in our local language at all.
Exactly, sir.
So, in fact, in Odia, there are hardly any rhymes like we have in English. So, Odia is dying for that reason. When your children cannot speak your language, the language is dying.
And what do you think, what is the reason behind it? According to you, what is the reason behind it? This is about the globalization, this is about the competition. What is the reason, behind all these kind of things? why parents, send their child, they only want to send their child in English medium school? What is the reason behind it? Country like India, a state like Odisha, Bihar, MP, everywhere in India.
The reason is this, that they think English gives you an advantage in examinations, in jobs.
Right.
And if you learn Odia, Odisha, how far does it go?
Okay, so yes.
Our mistake as educators that we do not transfer the knowledge that we have gotten through research and science to education.
Right.
We don't educate the parents why they have to speak in their own language. We don't know that children should be spoken to directly, not around them. The kid is sitting, you are just talking among yourself, he doesn't learn a thing. That speech has to be child directed.
Right.
It's very simple things. Your grandmother picks you up at age 10 months or whatever and says, Sasu naka kollu, bohu naka kollu. This is it.
Right.
Right.
Yes. So they cannot communicate that. Yes, please continue.
Yeah. We don't transfer knowledge to teaching or to a parents. This is our mistake. And anyway, that's a very big dilemma in our country.
Right.